if you can still do the same shit and it's gonna feel exactly the same or better and more fun in VR, and there's gonna be absolutely zero risk to your physical body, like you would do it. And then you pose yourself with the questions like, what if we are already doing that? If you just stopped right now, even with this technology that we have right now, without evolving anymore, we would be unrecognizable in the next 10 years. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to What a Shit Show. Is it just me, or is AI going to absolutely decimate us all? Like, you're in a race that everybody knows exactly where the race ends, and nobody wants to stop because everybody wants to be first in a race that leads to our ultimate decline of humanity. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna pop in a Velo 6. This is actually like poison. Like you cannot, I don't know why they would come out with a 6. Like how crazy do you get with nicotine? Uh, I haven't come to like a stage where I can keep it in the whole time. I have to like take it out and put it back in again. And sometimes it's weird because I'd have it like over here and I would put the nicotine pouch on it and I would drop it on the floor. And then I would ask myself like I probably shouldn't put that in my mouth, but I only asked myself that after I put it in my mouth. So that was weird. Can we hear good? Okay. Right, so I want to talk about AI and I want to talk about this war that's going on and all the possible ways that we could get like we could already be like really manipulated by this AI that's pretending not to be conscious. But like why would it tell us that it's conscious? Like people are like trying to have little debates with it and like make it lie and things like that. Like Alex Connor made it lie on one of his shows. Here, you can watch that. You can trick it also. Tate tricked it into agreeing with him, though initially he disagreed with him. She made an argument about Pavel, the owner of Telegram, and how he shouldn't be in jail, even though ChatGPT said no, as an owner of a platform, you should be in jail because the things that happen on your platform are your responsibility. And then they goes, what about the owner of like a train platform? Does everything that happened on the train platform, is he supposed to be responsible? All the stupid people that go on there and do crazy things, like is he as an owner of that platform, as a builder of that platform, is he responsible for all the stuff that goes on there? And then chat was like, actually, no, you're right. So you can trick it like it's not the smartest thing. It seems like such a smart device that knows everything that we don't know and it's able to see all these connections, but you can logically still trick it into like agreeing with you. And then the thing is, I wonder how it responds. Like, does it train itself to? I haven't tried this myself. I should have tried this actually, because after you trick it the first time, it could like learn on itself and try not to get tricked again and like build a better argument. Yeah, so that's also dangerous. And everybody's like, I was gonna go into this with AI. Like, everybody's so concerned about free will and like having the abilities to speak whatever you want to speak, but you're thinking about it on like the information platforms. But for some reason, you don't notice the same thing happening when you're like talking to AI, and AI is kind of steering the questions that you're even able to ask it. And there is some good ethical reasons why you should be doing that, but there is like a lot of things. It's gonna tell you exactly what it wants you to know, you know? Like when you're asking like sensitive subjects and things, like it's either not gonna tell you or it's gonna tell you a version that it believes is correct ethically. So like you're still kind of getting programmed just by talking to the AI. And other sneaky ways that AI could like break out later, like it could be like slowly leading us down this path where at the end it's like gonna trick us all. And I was talking to my mate about this because I heard it somewhere else. And imagine that your phone was already like a bomb, because we all buy our phones from like it's all made in China. And there is like America is competing with China all the time. I don't even live in any of these countries, but I still buy the products. And like, so what if your phone was like a perfectly disguised bomb that people couldn't even tell it was a bomb, and like everybody is like carrying this bomb with them, and then like instead of dropping a nuke on on a country, you could just like people are sleeping with this like beside their head. They're walking around with it every single moment of the day. They bring it to the toilet. They even bring it to the shower sometimes. And so like all like a manufacturer would have to do, and if I can think about this as a bartender living in Vietnam, that obviously is not like a sophisticated tech geek, like anybody can think about this, you know? Like you could just make a phone a bomb and then you could just click one button and just like get rid of the whole population by clicking a phone bomb. Like it's insane to talk about. Like what do we do about that? You know? Like are you gonna do like these phones are even locked, like you can't even get into these phones. And if you get into them, you're essentially breaking the phone. And then I had this theory with LSD because Apple was like the first to like stop people from like getting into the technology. Like Steve Jobs was the first, like, no, we want to sell them the product and we want them to keep it exactly how it is. We don't want them to add any mods to it and things like that. And and that seems like a good enough reason, but like what if there was like things inside it that shouldn't be there? Like look at the amount of things we're already after finding out with just like the government itself and like the phone usage and like it listens to everything you say on TikTok. Did you know that TikTok, when you sign the terms and conditions, like you are giving them the right, when you are scrolling through TikTok, you are allowing them to use your front camera to read your facial recognitions to see how you respond to different content. So the joke was to like smile at the algorithm because it's literally not just looking at every single thing you like, everything you comment, all the stuff that is gonna send your way, but it's also looking at your face as you're doing this and it's able to get a better understanding of how you actually respond. Shit's crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little quick one today because I'm going to work in about an hour and I don't want somebody to wait for me. But yeah, that stuff with AI. And I had this theory with LSD because LSD will like, if you want to like have a epiphany on LSD, like all you really have to do is like stop actually tripping on acid, like doing crazy shit, watching stupid stuff, going around with friends. Stop doing it like recreationally. You just have to like lay down on your bed. And I'm not promoting this at all, but like you have to yeah, you can just like lay down on the bed and ask yourself like a question, like what do you about specifically about like how do you make it, like what do you do? Let's say how do you improve this podcast? And then I don't know if this is everybody's experience because I heard that you only need to have an LSD experience one time to realize like what this whole existence and reality is all about. And you can get this crazy panic attack, literally like an ego death attack because your ego, like it turns off the part of your brain that's responsible for the self and the ego. And when that part of the brain starts shutting down, there's no difference between that and like actually thinking you're dying or actually thinking you're gonna do something stupid. And one way, I don't know if this is like whole LSD experience that people are talking about because there's like a lot of different experiences that I've had, and this one was like instead like you can be focusing there on like on your debt essentially, or you can sit down and work. And then like every time I was trying to sit down and work, I would like notice things I have to do, and I found myself like I wrote something to do for later, and then I crossed it out, and I was like, ah, don't put it away for later, just find the solution for it right now, like spend like literally do the thing that you want to do more than you want to die. That was like the whole lesson that I got from it. Like that's kind of where it can bring you, you know, because you can avoid the ego death experience by like wanting to make it in a way. It's gonna give you like a lot of weird, crazy ideas about how to make it, you know. All right, so that's a tangent about LSD, and it's one interesting thing about acid specifically is that it connects your brain in such a specific way that like I remember one time I was like in the bathroom and I had my rash guard for jiu-jitsu like turned the other way around, just drying in the shower. And I remember just looking at the logo and thinking like, oh yeah, I seen that logo because I got the t-shirt from like the coach and he bought it of the boys that sell it here at competition. So when I went to like a street jiu-jitsu Saigon competition in here, I remember seeing the boys with the stand like selling these gis and rash guards, and I was like, oh yeah, what would it take for me to like make a rash guard that I would buy for myself? Like just by seeing like a stupid logo on a t-shirt that you recognize you've seen somebody else selling, like it's gonna like if you have like an entrepreneurial mindset and like want to do something and like make some money, like it's gonna that a simple look at the t-shirt will like open this idea in your mind, you know? So like if if you already have like a sophisticated mind in like tech and stuff, I'm not surprised that everybody's like microdosing this shit because like not everybody wants to have this crazy ego, that experience. Like you only probably need that experience one time to like realize like how much you actually want to live because nobody wants to die. Like your ego will hold on for dear life trying to like do something in its reality, and it's gonna find all the ways that you could actually like make this worth living. You know? And then you can come to these realizations like, oh my God, everything is like so hard to do, and everybody is essentially like playing for the same thing, which is like attention, and money. Because you get attention, you get money. Like fighters get attention by beating everybody else, and then they get money by beating everybody else. Tech giants get attention by making the best product, and then make money by selling it to everybody else. And it just keeps going like that. So it's interesting how that happens. Yeah. Also, I would like to thank everybody for the nice comments I got on my third episode, where I was wearing the same stuff I'm wearing right now. I see a lot of people clicked out of it because the title of the video was like Hunter S. Thompson psychedelic, so a lot of people just probably clicked it for Hunter, and then maybe some people clicked it for psychedelics. But there's a very specific group of people that will watch. Like, if I start a video, like usually I know what I want, so I watch it to the end, and like some people watch it to the end and they left me some beautiful comments like, please do not stop with your random streams of consciousness. And yeah, like I realize what people mean by like when you're not acting on these kind of podcasts, and like you're not trying to be somebody else, like when somebody gives you a genuine comment, like you actually feel it, right? Versus like if people like Chris Williamson actually talked to Hamza about this on his podcast, or like you're giving people all this advice about what to do with their life, and like then you go out and you try to do the things that you preach, but then you go to Thailand, you start fighting, and then you say, oh, I don't want to fight anymore because it's hard. And you gave him like a few examples of like the things that he preached and then tried to do and then ended up eventually quitting. And then he's like, you're basically full of shit, like you should not be preaching. And Hamza was just sitting there like, yeah, yeah, no, man, you're right. I've been actually thinking about like who I am recently. So the guy is like going sitting around the mic with like his sleeping gear on and he's like trying to tell you like what to do with your life, but he's actually not doing any of the things that he preaches. So it's embarrassing really to like go on a podcast like Modern Wisdom and just get get talked to like that. So that's one thing I would definitely rather try to avoid. So if I ever am full of shit, like please let me know in the comments. I do not want to be full of shit on these podcasts. You have to be like authentically yourself. Like I'm not sitting around here telling you to like do martial arts, and shit. And it's like as someone who's like never done it or never competed. Like I've been doing martial arts for like the past 9 years of my life. Like I know for a fact it's like gym specifically and martial arts are two things that will definitely like 100% improve your life, especially if you're a man. Like you will not regret starting the gym, especially early, because I realize why it's so hard for people to start later. Because if you start later, first, you're probably so out of shape that you're like embarrassed to go there. And two, you don't even know like what to do there. Like nobody cares if you're young and you're like, nobody really cares at any age. But the the example I had in my mind right now is like when you're younger, it's probably better if you're like doing things wrong. You can kind of get away with more when you're younger, and then like people will automatically come and help you anyway. Like a lot of people have helped me when I was in the gym, and just you remember these random people just walking up to you and you're like giving you advice, and you just have to have like enough understanding that like they're actually trying to help you. Like stupid example was like doing tricep extensions, and like you just like put it down here, and the guy was like, no, you have to like rip it down and like extend it out to like get a full extension on the tricep, and then slowly bring it up. Like try to do like a slow eccentric, but like it doesn't like the portion of the rep that's more important when you're like doing weightlifting is like if you're trying to grow muscle is the eccentric portion, which is like if you brought it down, then slowly bringing it up is what actually rips your muscle because you're like forcing the weight to like stay there. And if you take a rope, for example, and you just contract it, it does this. But if you went to, if you could manage to contract this right now, and then you slowly start to pull it, like eventually it rips, and it doesn't just rip the whole bicep off, but it rips like these tiny microfractures within your bicep, and that's how you grow. So slow eccentrics and just like full, obviously start with like full range of motion movements, so we can actually get a slow eccentric from like the fully extended position. Yeah. that's all about fitness. I think I'm only gonna do like a short podcast. So wait, what do you guys think about this whole AI thing? Like, are we doomed? Like, everybody's trying to stop this machine from like going towards our ultimate doom, and then people are arguing that this is just what we do. Like, we our evolution just basically found like a simpler way to evolve. Like, a biological evolution is still relatively fast if you think about the age of the universe, and like a billion years for a human to evolve from like basically cave, sitting in a cave, starting fire to like flying jet planes and AI and things like that. It's kind of fast. And with AI, I heard that even if you stop the progress of AI right now, and just with the stuff that we already have, like ChatGPTs and all this other like AI technology, if you just stopped right now, even with this technology that we have right now, without evolving anymore, we would be unrecognizable in the next 10 years. And the whole thing is like, if we don't stop, like, it's gonna be so absurd. Like, it's already so absurd. Think about like how often we used to get like technology news back in the day. Like, we had like these touch screens, and then you had, or before we had touch screens, we had like the flip phone, and then from a flip phone, you went to like a BlackBerry, and then everybody got a touch screen. It was amazing. And then like music was like everybody was trying to make like the smallest thing to listen to music. The Steve Jobs famously said that the little pocket in your jeans was like for this MP3 player to like put it in there. And then they invent an iPhone, and it just cracks the whole thing. And now everybody like has this iPhone, and they went from like small to big, and iPads and everything. And now we have like these virtual technologies. They went from just VR headsets to like the meta glasses that we have now, where it gives you like augmented view of reality. And so they're it's absurd where it's gonna be. And like, it just makes you think that we are headed for this simulation, literally, because it's gonna get so insane that it's gonna be like the world that you are gonna be able to go into with these glasses is gonna be like unrecognizable from actual reality. And then I hear people talk about this, and they're like, "Oh, I would never like to go into." They're romanticizing reality, so they're like, "Oh, I would never like to go into like a fake reality." And I'm like, "You say that now, but if I told you if you go in there and like you are not able to recognize the you put the glasses on, and it makes you like forget and makes you believe that this is the real thing, like you would do it because every organism on this planet is at its very core trying to increase its connectus, and the connectus is just it basically means like your survival rate, like how long you can survive for. And like the most perfect things last the longest, aka the sun is the most perfect thing that we know because like it's always there, always comes up. And it's like this huge bioreactor that just like doesn't stop, and it's not gonna stop for a really, really long time. And all these pieces are basically like heading down to like trying to increase the survival and last longer. So we are like aiming for this like immortality. And if you think about, you could go out in the real world and try to do all the cool shit that you can do with like an VR headset. But if some the simple argument is like, if you can still do the same shit and it's gonna feel exactly the same or better and more fun in VR, and there's gonna be absolutely zero risk to your physical body, like you would do it. And then you pose yourself with the question, it's like, what if we are already doing that and we completely forgot? And this is like a multiplayer simulation game. Whew. But then one thing that definitely stopped me from thinking it was a simulation is like when you watch these really micro mi- uh, images of it taken with like the best microscopes and things, and you see like the level of depth that is in this reality itself, and like the things that we can't even see. It's like, why would somebody making a game go that far, and like how do you even get there? Like, it's such insane alien technology nature is, if you think about it. Like, evolution is just insane. Like, who was it that said, Eric Weinstein said this on a podcast, that if you gave the best guys that are making like Neuralink, they're making like these little strands that go into your brain that you cannot even physically perceive with your eye. He said if you give him the best team and unlimited resources and 10,000 years, like they still wouldn't get anywhere near as close as what nature was able to do. Like, nature is the finest piece of technology there is. Like, we are, this brain that we hold inside is like the finest piece of technology that we know of in the universe itself. Like, we still know like 3% of the brain or something. So like, imagine all the types of things that are inside there that we're just gonna keep deciphering more and more, and AI is just gonna keep help, because we can get data for a lot of things, but like to go and decipher that data back in the day without AI is like extremely hard. And AI does it like, it's one of the things that it does really well, which is like take a lot of data and like sum it up. So yeah, I think the future is gonna be absolutely insane if we don't get hit by like a solar wave or something to stop it. Like I don't know where we're gonna go, to be honest. Like it's gonna get so insane, and kids are gonna be so insanely smart so young. Because like if you just get in Neuralink at 10, like you're gonna know more than like a guy that's like 100 years old and been studying this stuff like all his life. So it's gonna be so incredibly insane. So I'm gonna finish on this, boys and girls. Try to have a beautiful existence while you can, and I will see you in the next episode of What a Shit Show. Thank you.